Munster, Indiana explained. Hey, if you lived in Munster all your life, or if you're new to the area just checking out learning more about Munster, this video has content for you. All kinds of good things. We're going to go into the history of Munster. Where is Munster in relation to Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, similar surrounding towns, subdivisions, commuting, demographics, schools. How good are they? What are their rankings? Crime? What's the statistics? Water? Well, what kind of water do they have? Things to do, taxes, home prices, and there'll be a lot more peppered in. All right, so first off, we're going to go right into the history. So originally, there were Potawatomi Indians were in the area of Munster. The town was a French territory in the 1600s, 1700s. Jacob Munster was one of the early settlers there. Munster was incorporated in 1907. The settlers arrived in the 1850s by rail. They raised crops and dairy products to the profitable Chicago market. So a lot of the lakeshore area was built out from raising animals and stuff like that. And then, like many of the immigrants, the family name of Jacob Munster, so this settler guy. Hey, this video is going to be about the town of Munster specifically, but if you'd like to know more about the whole region of Northwest Indiana, then check out my video that'll be linked below, which is all about Northwest Indiana. It's also on my YouTube playlist, and that's going to give you more information about the whole region of Northwest Indiana. All right, so and then also we're in process or have completed many other community videos. So if you're looking at other Northwest Indiana or Illinois towns, because Munster's right on the border. All right, so Munster stats about Munster. So the population is about 22,000. You got other stats here that I won't read to you. You can see about a $100,000 median income. And then just a quick introduction about myself. My name is Tony Anczer. I'm a real estate agent serving both Illinois and Indiana. So I got you covered on both sides of the border. And we do these videos just to educate our clients and viewers to learn more about the area and what it's like to live in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. So, and ultimately we love helping our viewers relocate or buying and selling homes. So please reach out. Don't hesitate. Any questions, just call, text, email. Information's there and in the description below. Also, there's in this videos there's chapters, so if you're more interested in one particular item of information, you'll see the chapters below where you can just click directly onto. And if you could just give this video a like and subscribe, it really helps out the channel and will notify you when we put out new videos, which is weekly. All right, so how is Munster ranked? So there's a website, niche.com, that we use for a lot of ranking information, and so niche.com gives Munster the ranking of #1 place to live in Lake County. And you'll see here some information. The schools are some of the best in the region. Housing, it's safe, you know, all these different rankings here. Commuting's awesome because you're right off of I-80 and you got lots of flexibility as to how to get through the region. More information here. So we got the sparse suburban feel. Yeah, there's lots of restaurants, coffee shops, parks, everything. There's a short drive to anything that what you need there. Many young professionals and retirees live in Munster. Quick note about time zones. So even though this is the state of Indiana, all the yellow is Eastern time zone. Since Lake County is essentially a Chicago suburb, I know some Indiana residents will take exception with that, but it's generally a Chicago suburb. The Northwest Indiana region is on Central Time, so we stay on the same time as the Chicago area. All right, so Munster, we're gonna go into Google Maps here, but we can see the surrounding towns here. So Munster, we are looking at, so Munster is right here, and then you can see just the other surrounding towns like Highlands right to the east, Griffith, little southeast, Dyer's directly to the south. That's actually where I live. Cherryville is this area here, St. John's to the south, Crown Point is to the southeast a little bit, and all these areas are an easy ride. In rush hour, traffic does about double from the beginning or triple depending on where you're going, but other than that, it's a pretty quick ride. And then this whole area here is the Illinois side of the border. All right, so now we're a little zoomed out. You can see where Munster is right here. I'm just going to call out some of the main roadways through the area. So I-80 here, which takes you to 294 to 94 to 8094. So that's like, these are the main east-west thoroughfares. You got I-65 north and south. So that's like if you were going to go to Indianapolis, you take that. To get to the city, you would hop on 80 to, there you go, yeah, to 94 north to connect to the city. And this landmark here is Willis Tower, Sears Tower. I prefer Sears Tower. And then like here's Midway Airport. So to get to the airports without traffic, you're looking at about 40 minutes or so, maybe close to an hour for O'Hare, because traffic's a little crazier. If you're going to Indianapolis, you're just about 3 hours away, 2.5, 3 hours. That would be, down south on 65. If you're going to the northwest suburbs, you'd hit 294 and go up from there. And then again, the Illinois-Indiana border is right here. So this is the Illinois side, and then this is the Indiana side. A lot of people, if they're looking in the border here, they'll find themselves moving to Indiana because taxes are about half as much, sometimes even less than half of what Illinois is. And yeah, that's any questions about that, just give me a shout. And if you're totally new to the area, one of the most important questions you might have is, so like if you move to Munster, like where would you find yourself spending your time? So Munster itself has pretty much all the stores you need. Like, so, I live in Dyer, which is just to the south here of Munster. And we find ourselves, Maryville is where like the Costco, the big grocery store places are. So we find ourselves heading up Route 30 to go to, Costco to stop up on groceries, and Aldi and Meijer's, a grocery store right over here. But Munster has a ton of its own grocery stores. If you're for nightlife, you've got, all these towns have restaurants. Crown Point, downtown Crown Point is a draw to the area for just if you want to go out for a night on the town, just walking around. Munster has a lot of restaurants itself too. You are close to Illinois, so you could head out to, Orland Park for the mall out there. Again, you're downtown Chicago, you're, with no traffic, you're just a hop, skip, and a jump to get to the city. So that's really where you would be, like this whole region. So if you live in Munster, I'd, find yourself usually kind of in like this area is where you'd spend most of your time. And then again, if you wanted to head out to Cedar Lake to go to the lake, or Lake Michigan, it's not that far away. So, but this would be generally your hub that I found most people in. Also, Valparaiso off of Route 30 is like a half-hour, 45-minute ride away. All right, a couple slides on water. So, Munster, Indiana, the short of it is that Munster has Lake Michigan water, so you're good to go. Lake Michigan water is, you don't have to worry about hardness or scaling and all that nastiness. Many towns in the region have well water, and so this is an example of how well water works, where there's the groundwater is in the ground, and you have a big boring that goes down to put a pump in the water, and then you pump it up, and then it gets to the houses. So in some of their towns like Cedar Lake, Crown Point, especially Cedar Lake, you'd have this factor for like irrigation, and you'd see scaling, and water can clog up the outlets of faucets. So, if you have well water, you have to go with a whole house filter, and then a water softening device, and here's the chemistry behind that. And this slide here, if you're interested, this shows you which towns have Lake Michigan or have well water. All right, a quick pause here. If you could like and subscribe this video, there's a link below, or in the video below, you can see the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. It helps me out because it gets the videos out to more people, so I appreciate that. And then it will alert you when we put out new videos, which is weekly. All right, so schools. We're getting into the schools of Munster, Indiana. So we've got the public schools. There's Munster, Indiana has its own high school, and it's you'll see the ratings on it. It's a phenomenal high school. It's a very nice facility. We've got Wilbur, Wright Middle School. We got Ernest, Elliot Elementary, and James Eads Elementary School. So Munster High School is rated A+. It has these characteristics. 1580 students in grades 9 through 12, student to teacher ratio of 18:1. So there's some more stats about that. But again, Munster is a big draw, and they have like a good football team, so that sometimes that brings clients into the town of Munster. Wilbur Wright Middle School is rated an A with these metrics here. 915 students, student to teacher ratio of 18:1. Ernest R. Elliot Elementary, rated an A. For these metrics, it's like 457 students in that age range. Say student to teacher ratio of 17:1. And as I understand it, these numbers like include people that might be homeschooled and whatnot. It's just that's the age number of people. James B. Eads Elementary, also rated an A. For these metrics here, 508 students, student teacher ratio at 17:1. So we talked about the voucher program too. So we'll pull up the Google Maps to show where those schools are, but I want to touch on the voucher program. So this is something actually like my family benefits from. So the state of Indiana has this voucher program where you can send your kids to private school. State pays for basically the majority, almost all of the tuition. So it's based off of what school district the state will pay up to a certain amount. And our kid, like this, I think the state pays like $6,300 for each of my kids to go to a private school, and so we're left paying the balance, which is like $1,300 per kid or something like that. So the state had this program for a long time, but just last year significantly increased the income limits on it, so a lot more people were able to qualify, and so that was exciting because that tuition payment was more than our house payment was, so that was nice to see that payment all but essentially go away. All right, so again, here is the town of Munster, and here we've got to the north side, this is I-80 and Calumet. Right over here is James B. Eads Elementary School. Then just off of Calumet and Ridge over here, we have the Wilbur Wright Middle School right next to Munster High School, and you'll see here that there's like the ball fields and everything over here. So Munster has, the high school has really nice facilities. They got a pool and theater and all that stuff. You can see the football fields here. So they really do it right at the high school, and you can see that this is like a complex for middle school and high school. And then we got Elliot Elementary School over here right off of White Oak and Ridge Road. All right, just showing you the main streets that go through Munster. So the main north-south route is Calumet Avenue, which is right here. So this is like a 2-lane road each way with a center turn lane generally. And then the north end is I-80 94. You've got a little further to the south, just off the screen, is Route 30. And Indianapolis Boulevard is north-south. It's like a thoroughfare too. And yeah, so those are the main streets that go through Munster. All right, moving on topics to crime. So what this gauge here is, and again, in that other Northwest Indiana video I have, it shows you the crime for different communities. And after this, I have a summary screen too for other towns in the area. But this 50% or whatever units they're using that's kind of like the median of United States. So you can see that less than 50% means it has less than average crime. Over 50% means it has over average crime. So in Munster, it's less, Munster is a very safe town. I've never heard anybody express concerns of safety in living in Munster. But that's a ranking from city-data.com. All right, and then so this is like summary of this thing. So different towns, it shows the crime rates, and I wouldn't put too much note into this because Munster, it's a safe place. You'll see like Dyer it says 12%, which looks a lot less than say Munster per se, but as a resident of Dyer, I don't think I feel any safer here than I do in Munster. I look at them as the same level of safety, so to speak. All right, so commuting. So these are the town names, as you'll see here, and how long it takes to get to O'Hare Airport. So for Munster, we are looking at 45 minutes to get O'Hare to O'Hare, and again, that's with no traffic. During traffic rush hour, you're looking to probably double that is safe, sometimes even more. And then Chicago is an international airport, so getting through there just takes a while. Train commuting, this is a slide for train station that doesn't really help us any. So train commuting from Munster is not really a thing. There is a train station being built and a railroad coming down. It's a few years out. But right now, if you live in Munster, you don't really have any train options. You either go to like Valparaiso, which would take you 45 minutes to get there, or you go to University Park in Illinois, and then you take the train up. A friend of mine, she commutes a couple days a week to the city via train, and it's like a 2-hour at least process each way. So there's really so this is the Metro route. So Metro is in the city. That's a real common way to travel around, but this just shows you that, so Munster's over here, and there isn't really any routes that go to property taxes. So let me dive in here, a couple different concepts going on here. So on the left side here, we'll see that these are property taxes. So what I pulled up here, like most, the average family is usually looking for like a 3-bed, 1 to 2 bath, 1.5 to 2 bath house, 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. So I pulled up sold properties, like the median price for those, and this just shows you the taxes that a company. So Munster has generally a little bit higher taxes in the area, and I believe it's because of like the school amounts. They have really nice schools, so you pay a little more, but it's nothing crazy here. You'll see $2,500. If you were in Illinois, you're looking to pay at least double that. So, but a big part of why the taxes are as good as they are is because Northwest Indiana here, we have a 1% property tax cap for owner-occupied properties. So you buy your house, you close on it, and then within a couple weeks, you go to the courthouse, or you can do it online, it's easier nowadays, and you provide them like your driver's license that says you live in Indiana and like a utility bill or something, and you can get your homeowner's exemption on your taxes, and that puts a 1% cap on your taxes. So in Indiana, your assessed value is actually pretty close to what your actual value is. It's actually usually a little bit less than what your real value is. And so it's 1% cap of that assessed value, but with a little caveat that voter approved projects can be on top of that. So if you have a $400,000 house, your taxes would be capped at $4,000 as an owner occupant. Let's say there's a school referendum that goes on top of it, that's a few $100s. So you maybe at max be paying $4,300 or something. And thing of note here, and I've seen this happen to many people, and we remind our clients to file that homeowner's exemption, because if you do not file that, then by the end of the year, then you will not have that homeowner's exemption, and your cap goes to 2%. So again, if you have a $400,000 house, you were capped at 1%, but if you don't file that homeowner's exemption, then you go to 2%. So your taxes are $8,000 plus any additional voter approved. So it's huge to do that. I've had a couple clients where we go to sell their house in Munster, and we looked at their taxes and we saw that they never filed their homeowner's exemption. So it means they were spending lots of money each year that they didn't have to. So this is what actual tax bill looks like. So for this house, it's assessed at $352,000, 316. So it shows property tax cap here at 3516, which is 1% of this number, and then voter approved projects, $776. So the total is 1% of the assessed value plus the voter approved projects, which gets a $42.92 for this house. All right, so what are home prices in Munster, Indiana? So this slide shows what the median homes are selling for in each of the Northwest Indiana towns. So what this is as current as June 2023. So I looked up the median home value or sold value of homes that sold in 2023. This tells you the price and then generally what you were getting for that. So we'll see in Munster that $411,000 was the median price for a 3-bed, 2-bath home. Now you can buy them for less than that. I walked through some today with a client that were sub 400, or you can even go lower than that, or you can go much higher depending on what type of house you're looking for. But that's ballpark information. Then you can see here what the prices are in other towns as well. Okay, so other taxes, I'm going to fly through this. This is outlined more in detail in that Northwest Indiana video. But Indiana has a state income tax of 3.15%. Lake County has a supplemental 1.5% tax. Yeah, so you add up these two and you get the total tax amount, which would be what, 4.65% is the income tax in Indiana. Sales tax is 7%, but what I was trying to say no to is there is no sales tax on food, which is nice. And then also municipalities cannot add additional taxes, of which you'll see many other Illinois communities doing that, like the places for eating tax or other types of taxes. So in Indiana and pretty much every other state, the Social Security benefits are not taxed. Retirement income is fully taxable though. Yeah, so IRAs, 401ks, private pensions are all fully taxable. Usually taxes on gas, and then estate inherited tax. There's currently no tax on that. So we're just flying through that. That other video has more. All right, getting some more housing stats. So in Munster, Indiana, we're looking at, so as of July 2023, buyer's market is the seller's market. So here we see here that's more on the seller's market than it is on the buyer's market side. We see that they got 2.3 months of inventory on the market currently. Listed sold price is 98%. So homes are getting pretty much what they're asking for. So median sold values, 335 for last month. This just shows the market trend on values. I just made a quick adjustment. I had townhouses in here too, so I moved it to just single families, which has a 351 median sold price with 1.9 months of inventory. And you can see the values here. So I'm gonna take up. So this graph here, the one turning on and off, that's the United States values as a average of the value of the whole United States. You can see the trend there. And then so we got Munster, Indiana. So Munster is this blue line, Lake County, Indiana is this orange, and then Indiana is this yellow, and we'll turn back to USA. So we'll see that Munster is actually rides pretty closely to the United States average for home sales. Let's find that interesting. New listings, the median list price is $422,000. Active listings, the median price is $450,000. Sold is $350,000. It's interesting how there's a big delta between this sold and what's going on the market. So this must sometimes you'll see bubbles of different types of homes selling in phases. Go. All right, so what we're looking at here is I did a search. This is my realtor view of the MLS. So I did a search for 3-bed, 1 3/4 bath. So that means you get 3 bedrooms and a full bath, and then at least a bath with a shower or more. So we could have more bedrooms or more bathrooms. So I did a search there. We'll just look through a handful of houses. So there was, so you can just see what this inventory is like, what values are. One note is that the MLS recently actually got hacked. First time I've ever heard of it in this business. And so they're rebuilding some things, so some of the photos aren't populating. So we'll take a look at this guy. So we've got a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,600 square foot house. And this is like a tri-level type design. This is just, and again, looking through some of these just shows you what your money's going to buy out here. I think this one was $411,000. Take a look back at that in a second. But you'll see one thing to note, Munster is a bit of an older community, so you'll see these like brick style, that's CMU units, concrete masonry units, I think, so called CMU. So you'll see that a lot for basements on the existing housing stock. You've got homes, this is for the older neighborhoods, this is pretty common to see houses like this. So this is a 3-bath, 5-bed, a split level house, so you don't have a basement to this, but this is on the market for $432,000. Let's get through some photos here. Detached 2-car garage. You have a split level design. And there are some newer subdivisions in Munster, but Munster is an older community, so you'll see a lot of less like open concept floor plans in Munster. All right, so let's check out this 1515 Somerset, which is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, 3,100 square foot. So there'd be a full basement that's not included in that count. And so this would be the last thing we look through. So let's show you what this would, oh, check this out. This is kind of neat. So they got one of those massage chairs right there. Yeah, it's got a 5-person sauna. That's pretty sweet. Master bathroom. Downstairs, so that'd be a full basement under that house. Kitchen. Yeah, this is what 700,000 buys. All right, then this will be the last one. I want to see this one. This is a 5-bed, 4-bath, 3,600 square foot, 10220 Barber Lane in Munster. This is in Community Estates subdivision. I do have a subdivision tour of that community. That subdivision is about half built out. Yeah, these are pretty nice. Yeah, you got the nice hardwoods throughout. You got the textured architectural ceilings. That really adds a lot to just the visual, the feel of the house, and especially in like big open areas like this. The ceiling type really just makes it feel like a different space, but yet all being combined. And as you can see, this is like a brand new house, which is new houses are generally the open concept style, which you can see there. Yeah, so there we go. Let's get upstairs. Yeah, you got more trade ceilings. Yeah, 3-car garage. This slide shows cost of living throughout the U.S. So the darker blues are the least expensive, and then the darker reds is the most expensive. So it shows Northwest Indiana, the Munster area, to be generally in the median. Yeah, it says U.S. average is 100. So it's right in that pocket. Things to do in Munster, Indiana. So there's lots of parks in the area. There's downtown Crown Point. There's biking trails options in the area. Lake Michigan, the dunes is very close by. Kid stuff. I've got younger kids. Sky Zone. We actually are members of the Munster Pool. It's a really cool facility there. It's like $300 a year for a family. Some other things there. And then again, you're close to many other towns, and even Chicago, Valparaiso. Those all have downtown experiences. A couple of fun things here is Erie Lackawanna Trail is a big trail. I think it was like an old railroad track that goes through the region. If you're a biker, a cyclist, that is. And there's a photo of the Indiana Dune State Park. We were like right over here last weekend. All right, this concludes our video of Munster, Indiana Explained. Hope you had some good takeaways from this. Our contact information is on the screen and the description below. Any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, some people give me a call just to ask more about the voucher program or other things like that. So feel free to use me as a resource, and we look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you around town.